A lesson in leadership. Today we break down the leadership of Jeff Fort, the leader of Chicago's Blackstone Nation and founder of the El Rukns. We break down his strengths, his weaknesses, and how he was able to control one of the most powerful gangs ever created. Let's dive in. Jeff Fort later adopted the name Abdul Malik Ka'bah after converting to Islam. Born 1947, Mississippi, raised in Chicago, organization, founder and leader of the Blackstone Rangers, Black P. Stone Nation, BPSN, El Rukn. Context: rose during the 1960s civil rights era when gangs began organizing not just for turf, but also for political and economic influence. Leadership style: charismatic visionary. He transformed a street gang into one of the most organized and feared groups in Chicago. His charisma commanded loyalty, especially from young men seeking identity, protection, and belonging. Religious political transformation. By merging Islamic principles, through the Moorish Science Temple and later Nation of Islam influences, with street power, he gave his movement a quasi-religious legitimacy. Authoritarian strategic. He ruled with strict control, often eliminating dissent within his ranks. His leadership combined fear, respect, and inspiration. Strengths: charisma. Could inspire loyalty and obedience. Organizational genius. Turned fragmented gangs into a unified structure, complete with ranks, uniforms, and rituals. Adaptability. Shifted from gang activity to political activism, winning government grants in the 1960s, then to religious militancy. Strategic alliances, built ties with politicians, businessmen, and even foreign governments, e.g. Libya under Gaddafi. Weaknesses: overexposure. His visibility made him a constant target for law enforcement and the FBI. Paranoia, eliminated or alienated potential allies within his own ranks. Criminal ties, couldn't fully detach the organization from drugs, extortion, and violence, which undermined his attempts at legitimacy. Hubris, believing himself untouchable led to reckless decisions, accepting money from Gaddafi for alleged terrorism. Laws: he mastered law. 1. Never outshine the master. Early on, he understood how to flatter and manipulate politicians and community leaders, letting them think they controlled him while he built power. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe in something. By introducing Islamic elements, he gave his followers a spiritual mission. This law was central to his longevity. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. He often let lieutenants carry out violence while he maintained the image of a community leader. In Law 23, concentrate your forces, consolidated scattered gangs into one disciplined entity. Law 28, enter action with boldness. His shift from gang leader to religious political figure was audacious and redefined his movement. Laws: he broke law. 18, do not build fortresses to protect yourself. He tried to isolate power within El Rukn headquarters, the fort, which drew constant surveillance. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Deals with Libya and hints of terrorism made his ambitions too transparent. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. His bold declarations and visibility gave his enemies ammunition. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. His obsession with political power, wanting to rival mayors, presidents, led to unrealistic and dangerous moves. How he maintained power: identity discipline. He created uniforms, codes, and rituals that gave his members structure. Dual image, balanced between being a feared street boss and a respected community activist. Political savvy, secured federal grants for community programs, showing he could manipulate mainstream systems. Religious authority, as Chief Malik, he presented himself as a prophet-like figure, giving his rule divine weight. Accomplishments: built one of the most powerful street organizations in U.S. history. Secured millions in federal anti-poverty grants in the 1960s. Maintained organizational control for decades despite imprisonment. Created a model of gang structure that influenced groups across America. Downfall: Libya connection, 1980s. The FBI accused him of agreeing to commit acts of domestic terrorism in exchange for $2.5 million from Muammar Gaddafi's government. Federal prosecution. Convicted of conspiracy to commit acts of terrorism in 1987, adding to earlier convictions for drugs and violence. Isolation. Currently serving life in ADX Florence Supermax prison, effectively neutralizing his influence. Jeff Fort's downfall came from breaking Law 18, don't isolate, and Law 3, conceal intentions. His boldness exposed him to federal power far greater than his own. Jeff Fort was a charismatic, visionary, and ruthless leader who mastered the art of transformation, unifying gangs into a movement that combined faith, politics, and crime. His power was built on identity, fear, and belief. But his overreach and visibility ensured that the U.S. government dismantled his empire.